Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a tutorial on this pink glitter cut crease that I did, this hot pink. And yes, I had to just kind of throw on the pink bling hoodie because why not? Why not just be a little extra? All right, so for this look, I used the Kylie, should have been called the Greatest Hits palette, but it's the one that the holiday collection that she did for Ulta. And I have literally every shade in this palette, so if you guys are a huge Kylie fan, you probably do too, because there's at least 4 different palettes of shades that she has in here, and I go through them all during the tutorial, so I'm not going to do that now, but yeah, that's what I used. And then I also grabbed a couple shades from this ColourPop palette that I put together. This is mainly a lot of shades from the Sandstorm palette and just some of my favorite ColourPop shadows that I put in here. So yep, that is what I used. And yes, of course, I used the Urban Decay Heavy Metal glitter liners, Midnight Cowboy, and in the shade Volume. So you guys will see all of that, and if you guys want to see how I created this look, then just keep on watching. And if you're new here, I do want to take just a quick second to welcome you to the video and to my channel. My name is Lauren Jade. I'm 57. I have mature, crepey, wrinkly skin with hooded eyes that are slightly downturned, and so I'm always looking for ways to rock this hooded eye and pass my tips and tricks on to you guys. And I know we all have different eye shapes and different levels of hoodedness, but hopefully you guys can pick up a few tips and tricks so you guys can rock your hooded eyes as well. And that's it. I want to keep the intro short. With that all said, if you guys are new, I would love to have you join me. Please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell right next to it. That way, YouTube notifies you each and every time I upload. And without further ado, let's get into this bling cut crease. All right, gonna zoom you guys in here, get a little tiny closer. I've already went ahead and I primed my eyes, and I'm going to set this primer P. Louise style as per usual. I'm gonna use my Melts Blur. This is my BFF. I don't know where I'd be. I've always said this in my eyeshadow game had I not discovered this. I'm so happy. I love this shade so much. I'm going to place this kind of everywhere where I'm planning to place shadow, just basically through the socket region. And then I'm going to push this down here a little bit, and I'm just going to kind of flick a little bit of it upwards. Kind of restless with this. I'm not being real particular. I'm going to grab this classic shade, and I'm going to place this under the arch of the brow. And in my last tutorial, I talked about how important when you're contouring, you know, how the brow alignment and just kind of how that all works together. So if you guys have not seen that video, check it out, because it's pretty detailed in terms of, you know, the contouring and the highlighting and the shade and the light and how it works in contouring the socket region and how the eyebrows play a part, and just kind of how highlighting in through this inner socket region, kind of through the nose bridge, and just kind of how all of that plays together and just kind of how it all works and sync and together. So if you guys have not seen that video, check that one out. I'm going to, because that one is really, really detailed. I'm not going to spend quite as much time today kind of going through all of those things, just because I really wanted to get this tutorial up before the holidays. But don't worry, I'm still going to do my normal explaining. Just going to kind of not do every single detail, because that's all in the previous video that I just did, and the other 2 videos actually that I did. So this is just a mixture of the RCMA white translucent powder and the Ben Nye luxury banana powder. Start kind of contouring my crease with the Hoola bronzer. I'm going to use the Benefit Cheek Leader Bronze Squad. I'm going to use this MAC 286. I'm just going to grab the Hoola, and as always, I'm going to just start to kind of contour my socket shape right here. Just kind of warm this up. I'm going to take this to the inner corner, kind of brush it up towards the brow, and kind of connect in here with the little nose contour area right here. So that's really all I'm going to do with this bronzer. I'm just going to warm up this crease and do just a little contouring right in through here. All right, sometimes some of you guys ask me what I have on my face. Today I'm using the Guerlain. This is the terracotta, and I like this because you have like a little map here that kind of shows you. You've got kind of a contour shade here, and then you've got kind of a warmer bronzer, and then you've got a blush and a highlight over here. So it's just a combo. I love Guerlain products. I have a lot of their bronzers, and they all smell amazing. By the way, so today we're going to use this is the Kylie. This is the holiday collection that she put out for Ulta. And if you're like me and a huge Kylie fan, you probably already own all of these shadows, which I do, because there's shadows in here from the 2017 birthday collection, the I Want It All. I think this one is from there. There's a few in here that are from the Sorta Sweet. There's at least 4 of these that are in here from the Valentine's Day palette last year's. And then there's a couple that are in here from the Bronze palette. And then this one here is from the Momager. And I can't remember if I said, but there's a couple in here from the Sorta Sweet. So yeah, if you're like me, you probably already own all of these shadows, and I do, all except for a couple. But I got this anyway because this was 30% off on Ulta, and then I got like an extra, you know, few bucks off because I used some of my Ulta points. So this was literally like $5, so I couldn't pass it up. And great for every day, but there is a lot of kickback. Kind of a sandstorm, kind of almost reminds me of the old Bad Habit palettes from 2018. That whole Shop Hush thing was so 2018. All right, I'm going to grab this shade right here, which is Rosé, which, by the way, this shade is in the Sorta Sweet palette. And I'm going to pretty much do the same thing. I'm just going to kind of contour, but be a little bit more specific, because this shade here is really close to that Hula shade. Going to kind of start right in the center, and usually when I'm bronzing, that's usually kind of where I start. It's the darker shades that I'm usually starting like out here, and I'm just going to be a little bit more specific in my contour placement with this shade, because I'm really going to get in here and really kind of hollow out and contour this socket, connecting it in with the nose contour. And I'm going to grab this brush, the 286, which was the first brush that I used, and I'm just going to kind of dust this out here towards the temple. Going to grab a little bit of the bone shade, the white shade from her bronze palette. Contour and light work together. So to really kind of see that contour that you're putting in, and making sure that, you know, you're contouring right where you want the actual shade, it helps to put in the light, and then you can kind of better see your contour. And I fully explained that in my previous video that I did with the eye contouring, so if you have not seen that, check that out. And I like to work in sections. I like to kind of work the front section, and then I like to work the back, and then just sort of kind of connect what's left through the middle, like with whatever's on my brush. And I do this simply because, like, my eyes are slightly downturned, so in order for me to get the eyeshadow shape that I'm going for, I just kind of like to work in sections. I'm going to grab this shade right here, Forever Young, and I think it's this one that's in the I Want It All from the 2017 birthday collection. I'm going to use an M433, and now I'm going to put this on the outer section, and I'm going to start this in my plug and play section, and I'm just going to kind of take this up almost to kind of meet where I finished off on this little contour area right here. I'm going to also flick this out. I am holding the brush kind of horizontally, so the bristles on the side are really kind of doing the blending for me as I'm applying. I have a lot of little things that I like to do, like tapping and pressing and feathering out, because I'm just not one of these let's blend your life away type people. So I'm putting this in a little plug and play. I'm taking this kind of up and over. As always, you guys know I like to take it up towards the brow, and it just kind of connects right in there with that little nose contour that I put in. Nose contour, I mean this little contour here in the front. And then I'm going to flick it out back here, kind of winging it out too, really is kind of what I'm doing. I'm going to go back in with that 286 brush and just kind of feather everything out. I'm also going to dust a little bit onto my lid, just because of the fact that I am going in with that brighter pink, and I've been playing so much with this that it's kind of, in the beginning, just kind of stained my lid a little tiny pink. I mean, it's kind of gone away, but I like to kind of build up the shadows so that that super bright shade is not touching, you know, not really going right onto the skin, if you know what I mean. So I'm just gonna blend this up a little bit more. All right, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab, you know what, I'm just going to do a tiny bit of this shade right here, the Check ID, which this shade here is from the Sipping Pretty. I'm going to switch brushes now. I'm going to use this one. This is the M456. I just got this and I got like 3 or 4 of them. It is the sister to the M433. And if you guys remember, I'm gonna grab a different mirror. If you guys remember that I got the Sigma E27, which was the sister to the Sigma E25, that's kind of how this 456 is. I just love it. So if you have small and hooded eyes, this is a great brush. This little one right here, because it's flat, it's got bristles on the side of the brush, which means when you hold it horizontally, it's going to kind of do the blending for you, but you can literally just plug and play right in here. And it's just going to fit and hug that socket so nicely. So absolutely love this new brush. That's why I got several of them, because I knew that I was going to like this. So this is just going here in my little plug and play area, and I am keeping this one a little bit high, because this one is going to kind of peek over and peek through that really bright pink shade that we're going to lay down. I'm going to dust a little bit of this onto the outer lid as well. And this one I'm just taking up high like this a little bit, bringing it in and just kind of winging this out. I'm going to take just a tiny bit of that Melt Classic shade that I used up here, and I'm just going to kind of graze the edges. I'm going to kind of pull it down a little bit, and it'll just kind of catch the edges of those pink shades. And I like these type of bone shades because they work so good as little magic erasers. So if you ever think, well, you know, got the shadow up a little too high, or maybe you've got like a harsh line up there, you just got something you just kind of want to soften and make more airbrushed, just lightly graze over those edges and just kind of pull it down. And it'll just really, really kind of diffuse and make everything really airy out here, which is what we want. Lightly sketch out a kind of a fake crease, and also kind of where I'm planning to put that really bright pink. So I'm going to take Payback's a Bitch, which is a cool tone brown. It's the one from the Momager palette. I think I don't have this shade. I'm just going to start right up here in the socket, and I'm just going to kind of give a nice little rough sketch where I want some definition and where I would want that depth. going to take it to about right where my little plug and play area is right here. All right, I'm going to grab Candy Heart, which is this shade right here, this super bright, almost kind of like a fuchsia pink. And I'm going to mix it in with that Forever Young, just that lighter pink shade. And I'm going to put this on this outer section right here, kind of like I would be doing a wing. And then I'm going to kind of follow along that fake crease line that I kind of put in right here. It's going to take this up to the brow. And moving it over. I'm going to be a lot more exact here very shortly. Bright pink shade, the Candy Heart by itself on the Sigma E65. It's just an angled to finer brush here. And I'm going to go right over top that fake crease that I created. That's why I did it in that shade, that cool tone brown shade, so that I could go right on in with this bright pink and have the exact placement that I want. I'm going to take, because I love how orange and pink look together, I'm going to grab one of my shades from this is a ColourPop palette that I put together with a bunch of singles. Basically, there was a bunch of singles that I really wanted from the Sandstorm palette. So every Sandstorm one is in here except for the pressed glitters. So I'm going to take one of these peachy shades. I'm not sure which one, but one of these kind of orangey, peachy shades. And I'm just going to kind of go right above, right here, right where I tapped out the edges. So right over that fake crease where I tapped the edges. And I'm just going to work in this outer section. So I'm just like back here. I'm just going to take this up to kind of meet this inner socket contour that I put in, my inner corner shading. And it's just going to melt that really nicely. You can see that my sport bra here is pink and orange, so I'm not sure why I love that combo. I just do. I just think that the pink and the orange is so beautiful together. All right, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to... All right, we are going to have fun with this look. We're going to throw in some glitter, but I think what I'm going to do first... All right, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my shimmers, I think, first, and then I'm going to do my liner, just simply because I'm not going to be wetting the shimmers at all, because then when we go in with the glitter, that's going to be like the final thing. So I'm going to grab this. This is the P. Louise base in 0, which I have been waiting and waiting and waiting for. You guys know that I use my NYX shadow base in white all the time because I love an amplifier. I literally took a pin size amount of this, and you can see that it a little bit goes a long way. I'm only going to put this kind of like in the front half, really. Lucky shimmers. All right, so now I have a really good contrast going, and I'm going to go in with my shimmers, and I'm going to use a mixture of, I need to grab my, I guess this will work. I'm going to use this cream color brush, and I'm going to do a mixture of, I'm going to take Be Mine, which is from the Valentine's Day palette, along with Martini Mama, and I think this one is in the Nice palette, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember if that one is in the Nice palette or the Sipping Pretty, but it's in one of those. And then I'm gonna grab this shade for the inner corner highlight. So I'm gonna start with this one on the end, and you can see again, it's that peachy, orangey, kind of a pink vibe in this shade that I just feel like goes so pretty with the pink. And now I'm going to take this Laura Mercier, it's just a eye corner color brush. It's just a little bit more narrower. And I'm going to put my Jack Frost shade right on the inner corner. Highlight right here. Drag it down. That's the shade right here, this like solid white almost. Look to be on the glitter. I'm not going to be spritzing my brush. Usually I will do that because I like that metal foil effect. You guys know that I like to turn my shimmers into almost like a metallic-y shade. But for this, I'm just going to keep it a soft shimmer so that that glitter pops. All right, I'm going to take this almond shade, which is from the Sort of Sweet palette, and this obsidian shade, which is from the bronze palette. And I'm going to kind of mix those two for my liner, for my winged liner. I'm going to start with the brown shade, the almond shade. And I'm just going to stamp really, really close to the lash line. And I have pretty much shadow out here. So, and the shimmers are, you know, it's not like a metal foil shadow, so you're not like dragging it if it were metallic. These are just shades and they're going on fine. I'm going to do that gradient. I take it a little bit thicker on this outer corner and then a little bit thinner as I go towards the inner corner. I will sometimes grab this, grab this angled liner brush and just kind of do the inner corner. This is easier for me to work with on this eye than this flat definer brush. I want this to be kind of a gradient from brown to black so that the black will just kind of fade up into the brown. So now I'm going to go in with the black. I'm going to keep this one even lower than the brown and just keep this one right next to the lash line. And just kind of wiggle in here, almost as if I were kind of tight lining. And if you want to like smoke it up a little bit, you can just kind of, almost kind of like blend it in an upwards motion with the brown. And I'm just going to kind of pull this out here. And then I'm just going to bring it back and kind of connect it. All right, I'm going to go back into the Candy Heart shade, which is this bright fuchsia pink, and just kind of go right over that border where I just put in those shimmers and just kind of deepen up to get that contrast back. Then I'm going to grab that brush and just kind of go right in over it. All right, I went ahead and I removed my baking powder and touched up my bronzer and my blush. Put on some falsies because I just felt like this look required them. I'm not a falsie girl. Like, I do not do these false eyelashes at all. I have only worn them a few times in my life, and that's been for photo shoots and, you know, some of my modeling stuff back in the day. But yeah, that's it. I do it for here though, every now and then, just because I feel like it gives it that full effect. All right, I'm going to take this up a little higher. When you have hooded eyes and you wear them, it takes away from that lid space, and I like a nice, bright, open lid space. So that is why, you guys know, I always cheat that lid space. But when you have the falsies on, it takes away a little bit of that lid space that you've got. And I'm just popping this Jack Frost white shade here onto the inner corner right here. Oh, I forgot. I had to pop on my bling hoodie just to get the full effect, since we're going to be doing the glitter now. All right, so I'm going to be using my Urban Decay Heavy Metal Glitter Liner. This one's in the shade Midnight Cowboy, and this one is in the shade Volume. It's kind of a pinky, holographic, kind of a silvery, almost kind of like a multicolor, but with a pink shift. And then, of course, Midnight Cowboy, which is kind of a gold and silver mix. So I'm not going to use any glitter primer with these because they kind of already have that in them, so I never usually do that when I'm using these. So I'm going to start with this pink one, and I'm just going to put this right on top of that little fake crease line that I created, and then I'm going to top it with the Midnight Cowboy. And you can see the pink shift in this. All right, time for the Midnight Cowboy. I love these glitter liners. They're so incredibly easy to work with, and it really makes you look like you spent a lot more time than you actually did. All right, I'm going to use my Anastasia Dewy Set. All right, so that completes the look. Oh, you guys know how much I love my bling bling. I just had to do this hoodie. Like, I had to, because, like, I had to. I know it's a little over the top. I get it, but I just kind of had to do it. All right, guys, that completes the look. Mwah! I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next one.